Hey, welcome back to After Hours Garage. This is episode 3 of Garage Beers. Today we have Junior with us. He also worked in the dealership with us. You want to tell us a little bit about your time at the dealership?
It sucked.
It sucked. That's definitely a good way to put it. I don't think anybody enjoys working for a dealership unless you're some kind of higher management.
That's about the only way you're going to get anywhere.
I don't think they enjoy it either.
Well, it seems like
kind
you
of
definitely enjoy it more than the techs do.
You were like a floater for a long time, too.
We had
Yeah,
a lot of different jobs.
yeah, I did. I was Walmart greeter, porter, dispatcher in the service department.
You did parts for a while too, didn't you?
Did parts. Yep, did a little bit of everything.
If you
I
had
have to give most of my credit to you, though. Just
Why?
because it was like, here's an easy ticket, but here's the hardest ticket I can give you at this time for you to die. But here's this easy ticket to make up your time for it. Like, if it wasn't for you, I would just be like, I don't feel like I'd be at the level that I'm at. if
Because
that
I
makes
pushed you
sense.
because I seen your potential.
Yeah.
He does
That's what
have
these
a lot
old
of
heads do.
potential.
They play that mind game, you know. Well, here's you something easy, you know. But
You didn't do the same thing with the guy working beside me. The curly-headed Q.
for a reason.
Wait, which
Didn't
one
see
was
the
that? You don't
potential
gotta say
there.
his name, but what does it
There's
start
a
with?
few of
You
those.
work with him now.
Yeah.
I work with him.
Enough said.
On the opposite side of the street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Did you
there.
see the potential there?
No.
Okay.
Oh, he complains about it every day. He's like, I got these tires, and every time I look over there, he's sitting down.
Oh yeah, that drives me nuts. And I'm like, so you guys are pushing me to the point where like my back hurts by the end of the day, my legs hurt by the end of the day, and you've got somebody that's 10 years younger than I am, and he's just sitting around, and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with him? What's his disability? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that drives me nuts because obviously there's definitely a little favoritism. You know, I don't want to say too much.
It's not necessarily a favoritism. Well,
I'm wondering why that's there.
there's probably favoritism to a point because I had to deal with that some as well. But for me,
I think you dealt with more bitching from me and him than anybody in that
I think
shop.
every dispatcher
Definitely.
has to deal with that, and that's why every dispatcher I've ever known
Nobody
is cranky.
bitched for more than Jimmy. Nobody. I don't care who you are. I don't care what kind of bitching woman there is. Nobody bitched more than Jimmy.
Oh, and he bitched
Hands
about
down.
a bag of money and a blowjob.
Yeah, that's true.
For real.
That is very true. But who else does
Did
that?
you hear about our scuffle?
No.
So Rodney
Oh,
invited
where
me,
have you been?
Razor, to go ride his Razor with him.
Yeah, I seen the picture
So-
where y'all went.
So I did it, and Jimmy kicked at me, so I grabbed his leg when he kicked at me, and he fell down there on the ground, and he got up and he slapped me, and I was like, don't hit him. He's 50 years old. Don't hit him. Don't hit him.
That's funny. You can't keep beating up the elderly, man.
Yeah.
That's
He
elderly
says
abuse.
he-
You can go to jail for that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, it was potential. I seen in you is why I pushed you like I did.
Yeah. People keep saying that, but I don't feel it. I don't really like this line of work.
Because you
it's
don't have
not-
enough confidence in yourself.
It's not confidence. It's just, I got into this to build race cars and go work in a chassis shop or something like that. And
Then go fucking do it.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that in
There's nobody standing in between you and doing that, but they're an opportunity.
that's why I'm doing
And your
this,
mindset.
is to get out of the dealership. I feel like once you get in, you get used to the money, and then it's just like,
It's a black
I don't
hole.
want to do anything else. What
The
else
money-
can I do to go make this money?
The money,
without an education.
Exactly.
Yeah,
the
you
money's
can't.
too wishy-washy in a dealership.
I
It
agree.
is. That's
agree.
because it's
It's
either commission or based on the job. It's not hourly.
It's
You
feast
just-
or famine if you're on commission.
Exactly.
If it's there, you get it while it's there. And if it's not, you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs. It's anywhere you work commission, and the demographics has a lot to do with it too. If
And
you're
the
in a
economy.
dealership,
And the
and the
economy.
economy. If you're in a dealership in a bigger city, Nashville, Brentwood, Murfreesboro, such and so forth, the work's gonna be there. It may be a lot of oil changes and shit, but the pay is gonna be higher.
the business is there.
The business is there.
Always.
Versus Podunk Pulaski, to where it's kind of a hit and miss, and you got
Small
all these
town.
old head farmers bringing their ragged ass cow shit covered
Yeah.
diesels in to be worked
Yeah,
on.
that's true,
All
man.
right, because when I worked in
Connor loved
Murfreesboro,
that.
I made a lot of money. Columbia, not so much.
Nope.
But now I think about it, like looking at other jobs, and I'm like, maybe I want to do something different. Like, I don't want to be an advisor anymore. I don't want to work in the dealership anymore. And I look at all these other jobs, but I'm like, nothing's going to pay me as much as being an advisor does.
But while you're young, take all the training you can and soak up all the information you can while you're young. Because you're what, 24? 26? You're 26, 27?
27.
You're what?
32.
I'm 55. Soak it up while you can. That way, when you get my age, you can get in one of them cushy ass jobs where you ain't got to bust your ass. You ain't got to sit across the way and watch some young punk sit on his ass while you bust your ass because of your knowledge. You can put your knowledge to work elsewhere and sit on your ass.
I feel like it's hard to do that. People don't prepare you for that, especially like when you're in high school. But it's like once you start doing something and that's all you have experience for, no matter what else you think you want to try to do, it's so hard to get a foot in the door because you have no experience.
Broaden your horizons while you're younger.
It's hard.
It's very
Like
hard.
you spend so much time doing one thing, and then you decide you don't want to do that thing anymore, and you want to try something different, but no one will give you a chance.
I've been in cars my whole life.
You
Either
owned
body
your own
shop,
shop too. Didn't
I
you?
own my own shop. That was before all this computer shit hit. This was 22, 23 years ago that I had my own shop. They had just started getting into the computer stuff, and I had got into some of the smaller stuff on that. But I've been in cars pretty much my whole life, either in body shop or mechanic work. And now I work at a tractor dealership in parts. So going from
something you still have experience with.
parts, not tractors, is a whole world. It's a whole. I thought it would be kind of a cakewalk going from automotive stuff into parts. It's not been into tractors.
Well, it's totally different.
It's totally fucking different.
You're talking about a
because
low RPM engine with like
it's
none
not.
of the same. None of the same.
It's not just that. All the hydraulic hoses and couplings, and then you get into the hay balers and the hay cutters and shit that I have zero experience with, and it's like, what the fuck?
So is that one of those like fake it till you make it kind of deals? You're just gonna figure it out?
Yeah,
He learned pretty quick. Like he went from dispatcher to parts, and like I don't know, like you could bring him a ticket and tell him what you needed, and he would find it. It may take him 15 minutes, but he got quicker and quicker as time went on.
and I had
That's
zero training when I went from dispatcher into parts. None. They set me down in front of the computer, showed me how to log in to each one of the sites that you go to find stuff, and that was pretty much it. Dusty helped me a little bit as far as telling me where to go to look for something at, because the way they hide shit, it's not where you think it should be.
Yeah.
You know, certain sensors and shit like that, you would think they would be in a certain area, but they're not. And so he helped me some on that, but he was commission based and I wasn't commission based, so I hated to keep bothering him and Chris asking them questions because I felt like I was taking money out of their pocket because they were commission based and I wasn't.
Well, that's how a lot of the old school flat rate techs used to be too. Like they wouldn't want to help the younger guys that just got into the business because now you're taking their time and
trust
their
me.
time is money, and you're potentially taking jobs that they could get.
You're
in the
taking
future
money out of
because
their
they have
pocket.
that knowledge now. So
Well, we
like,
had that talk in, I don't know, back in December of last year, where we had a guy just asking, he just wanted to go to training, and he was like, all these older people don't want to help. And then he was like, how do I get the training? How did somebody help me? And then one of the older techs spoke up, and he was like, who helped me? He was like, I learned on my own.
That's what a lot of
Well,
dealerships
And that's how pretty much I learned. It was like, when I come in, I was straight out of, I'm going to call it tech school. But it was like, Rodney pretty much was like, here, if you have questions, go ask these two guys.
Be free.
But you had also been doing mechanic work stuff with your dad for,
I had a little knowledge in it, yeah.
yeah, that helps a lot too. But when you go from not knowing nothing,
Oh, there was people in tech school that didn't even know what a ratchet was.
yeah, yeah.
And like, how do those people be successful? There's no way.
Apprenticeships, which a lot of dealers do, and some are against it and don't want to do it at all, and they just want to take you from an oil changer and move you to a tech and say be free.
Nobody makes it like that.
Sink or swim.
There was a guy I knew, he was straight out of tech school, and I thought tech school was like a good thing, you know,
No.
everyone can benefit from it. But
No, if you have knowledge, all you're going to tech school for is a piece of paper to put on your resume.
which means nothing to even like.
No,
the
you're paying
dealerships.
$30,000.
Yeah.
Well, so one of the biggest rules that I ever heard was 30-30-30. You pay $30,000 to go to tech school, whatever. You pay $30,000 in tools to make $30,000 your first year. You're $60,000 in debt, but you're only making $30,000 your first year.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feed a family on that if you're just getting into it?
I've worked with a lot of ones that come out of the tech schools. They come straight out of tech school either go in the body shop or mechanic, and they build them up so much in the tech school, especially one out of Nashville.
Yeah, there were some cocky people coming
And
out
they would come out and think that they knew everything that somebody been doing it for 30 years has been doing. You can't replace
hands-on
knowledge versus book learning or whatever.
There is no repair that's going to be a textbook repair because every
So-
situation's different.
And
So
that's
going to
experience.
Pulaski, it being like a Ford and Chrysler dealership, like Chrysler, when you like do your diag and your wiring stuff, like it gives you a theory
you say? Oh.
of operation. Like this is how the system works, and like I used to read that, know how the system operated, know what it looked at and everything, and it was so much easier to diag after that. Ford does not give you that, and then Ford's
Because
CEO,
Ford hardly ever breaks down till you have to do any
Everybody's
shit like
training
that.
is very
Yeah.
You know,
different.
that's why Ford is so simplified like that, because
No, they're so much harder to work on. Like the PTS sensors, the Parktronic sensors.
Yeah.
It'll tell you sensor fault rear. Chrysler, it'll be like sensor fault, sensor number 7. Like, there's so much difference
yeah.
there. Just how they do their systems. Chrysler
It's-
is so much more advanced than Ford.
All of them
Every
are
dealership,
different.
every car manufacturer is going to be different. They're going to have
Their
different ways to
training
do.
is very, very
training
different.
is different.
And also,
mean-
I think the dealership's training that they give you and going to tech school is also very, very different and dependable on what job you want to do. Because, yeah, you spend all this money to go to tech school, but if you're going to work at a dealership and they're going to send you to training anyway, and it's still going to be completely different. And a
That's-
lot of people don't even go to school to be a mechanic or anything, and they start out in the dealership and go that route.
And it kind of depends on which dealership you go to. Because if you go in the city one, it's like you got light line, heavy line,
Some people have their
engine,
specialties.
transmissions. You
Yeah.
got a bunch of specialty people. Like
Yeah.
if you go small
Rather than doing
town,
everything.
One person does it all.
yeah, if you
Yeah.
go small town, you're doing everything.
Yep.
I think it's better to be well-rounded than have one specific specialty.
Yeah, when I worked in Nashville, we had this transmission guy. We had to push the car in for him, and we pushed the car in, and it wouldn't roll. So we had to jack it up, put it on jack stands. The rear diff was busted. You could see the pinion gear and everything. We pushed it into this transmission guy's bay. He diaged it for like 2 days, and he called us down there, and he was like, "Guys, I don't know what's wrong with this. I need you to push it out of my bay." And we told him, we're like, "The rear diff." It was a Challenger. We're like, "Rear diff is busted."
Yeah, but I don't
And
know
he
that.
goes, "No shit." And he lifts it back up, and there it was. It was like you could see the ring and pinion in it.
But he
and
don't do rear diffs. He does
Yeah.
transmissions.
like he was trying to diag a transmission, and there was
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I think some dealers still try to do that. They try to make people have a specialty and they give all the same problems to the same person. And then it becomes to the point where nobody else knows anything about those problems because they've only made one person deal with it.
And some dealerships have one person that wants to do nothing but
Right.
what they want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Kind of
True.
how I am though. I really just want to work on diesels, and then that's it. Don't give me nothing else.
That's both of us though. Engines, I want to rebuild engines, put engines in, and work on diesels.
It's okay to have something you want to do, but you should be
Just
able
like
to
that
know how
L.
to do everything.
I've been more
that
happy
way.
putting that engine in that Grand Cherokee L than I have since.
but why not do it all and just become more versatile? That way you have more under your belt.
You have more knowledge of everything
Yeah, and if
than
you
just
ever
one
want to leave,
specific thing.
you know,
You have a better resume to,
yeah, you
to
have
go
a much
from.
bigger resume. Yeah.
Yeah, we have that resume. I have that resume, but I still like the jobs that I like to do, you know.
Your resume is come dragging in 45 minutes late with like that slug you see during the summertime that has that snot trail behind it and behind
About
the wheel coming in.
10:30, 11:30, you're
Yeah.
like, who was that guy an hour ago?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not even the same fucking guy.
I carried my grandbaby over to Alamo, Tennessee Friday night. There's a drive-through safari park over there. And we went through the sloth exhibit.
Oh, is that where they like eat out of your car and stuff?
Yeah, you
Dude.
can drive through.
Yeah, dude.
But
I
they
was saying we need to
Oh,
go to
I
one
thought-
of those.
Okay, my bad.
but
Yeah.
they had the sloth exhibit, and there was 4 or 5 of them in there, and one of them was climbing across the limb upside down. And I sat there and watched him for 15 minutes. He moved like 3 inches.
It's like, what's that?
He's the-
Junior did reference me. He used to have to put a stick beside me in the morning to see if I even moved.
Yeah,
Zootopia.
I know when he first gets to work in the morning, when I see him, because normally he walks so slow through the shop that you don't really see that he walks through. But when I see that he's over there kind of starting to work, I'll go over there to say good morning and stuff. And most of the time, the first response is, like, what, dude?
Until that whole thermos of coffee gets gone. Don't fucking talk
No.
to. If my hood's on, don't be talking to me.
I guess we have something in common then. Not morning people.
when I first started at Dodge, or first started in dispatching, I was right between him and another guy. They were both on either side of my desk. And I'd known him like maybe a week. And I run across, it pops up on Facebook, people you may know or
Oh
something.
no, that was a day, man. That was
it a day?
one day.
Well, whatever, one day. So fucking what, man? Anyway, so I friend requested him on Facebook. Well, a couple weeks later, Memphis Street Outlaws was down at Etheridge Motorsports Park. And I told him about it. I said, y'all are here to come down. I said, I'm going to go. I bought tickets for me and all the kids and stuff. We went. Well, here he showed up. And this person he was with, his ex-girlfriend. But anyway, he was telling me, he was telling her that, say, this fucker over here know me like one day and he sent me a friend request on Facebook. He's like, that's kind of weird. And I said, yeah, I admit it was kind of weird, I said, but you know what was more weird? He said, what? I said, you accepted it. He went,
That's funny, man. You just canceled out it being weird because it was accepted.
We used to play pranks on each other all the time. He got me one time, and I didn't even do anything to him. Like, I had white lithium grease, and I was just spraying it on the bottom of his desk. And then somebody else saw what I was doing and sprayed a speaker. Well, they got blamed on me, so he took white lithium grease and went under all the handles of my toolbox. I was like, what the hell? Where's this coming from? And he's just over there laughing. And I was like, did you do this?
We had a guy in Columbia not long before I left. You may remember him, maybe not. You may. I don't know if you were still there. Anyways, I don't know what his name was, but he was kind of bigger, and we all called him Carl. And he looked just like Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron.
I was there.
You were there?
Yep, because he
I
left.
remember it.
He left to go to Toyota in Clarksville, I think.
That's right. He was going to Clarksville because something about his girlfriend moving. Or
He was a
something
fucking
like that.
numbnut.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. Everyone was always playing pranks on him. So one day I got one of them big ass rolls of Saran wrap before he came into work one day, and I went like 100 times around his toolbox.
I remember
with
he
this
got
Saran
pissed
wrap.
about that.
Oh yeah, he was real.
Like you done
upset
damage
about
to his box or some
it.
shit.
Yeah, but he was over there cutting it open with a razor blade. I'm like, nah, dude, don't do that, man. You're gonna scratch
He's a
your box.
dumbass. You see when you work in this type of business, you see some characters.
Oh, everybody.
You remember Michael? He tried to fight Kendall.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
the military dude.
Yeah.
He had left right before.
He had changed the ram symbol to war on his toolbox.
Yeah,
Like-
he had left right before I started back because I was in and out with situations I had before I started back full time as a dispatcher. Anyway, he had left, and I had to deal with him when he come pick this stuff up because when
They made Kendall walk down the road because of him.
yeah, when Kendall found out that he was coming, Kendall left. He said, "You have to deal with him."
Now he just started walking down the road. I remember test driving a vehicle, and he was like 2 blocks down the road. I was like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Oh, Michael's coming to get his stuff." I was like, "You want to ride back?" He's like, "Nah, I'll walk back."
That was, dude, you see people like that are just ex-military and they're gung-ho and they know it all, and if you try to show them any different, they want to stomp your ass, to complete total idiots that think they know what they're doing, but they don't know shit.
And he was a tech. Is that what he was?
Yeah,
Yeah, where
He
those
was
2
the-
diesel bays are is where he put.
yeah, down beside Holly.
Oh,
You talking about moving all the time. I would move from where I was to those 2 racks. He'd hire somebody, I'd move back to where I was. Fire them, I'd move back to the 2 diesel racks. It was just like back and forth the whole
still
time.
like that.
Yeah.
well, yeah, we got
Every
moved
time I
from,
go in
Like,
there, I'm
I
like,
even had to move the
where's
other
this
shop.
person?
Yeah, you had to move the other shop at one time.
Yeah.
Well, I started in the body shop, moved down to the main shop, and then we ended up moving back down to the body shop. And I don't even
no,
think
I moved bays all the time.
when we were in
because-
Columbia, I don't think we even really talked, did we?
No.
No,
I don't
you was
know
over
why.
in a used car and you stuck up over
Sometimes.
Oh,
We had it-
I was
talked
gonna
to-
say he was too busy with someone.
I don't know, Jim. You and Jim used to come
Fuck
get me all
yourself,
the
dude.
time. Yeah.
You gonna light a fire under my ass, dude.
You and Jim used to walk over there and be like, Brady, Will, we need help diaking this
Only
car.
Jim talked to
we
me all
used
the
to walk
time.
over there and diag a car for you
That's
guys.
true.
That's because he knew where I lived, so he'd be like,
Oh, speaking
Hey.
of Stotler, he come in over to Massey dealer about 2 or 3 weeks ago, looking to buy a skid steer.
He just
He just
bought
picked up
one.
his truck. Like,
Yeah, he had just picked his truck up or dropped it off. It was one of the two.
He come in, he was like, I'm hearing a weird sound. I was like, yeah, your exhaust manifolds are leaking. But we're your turbo's stuck anyways. And he was like, I'll fix the exhaust manifolds myself.
Yeah, because the turbo was under warranty.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what he said. He said he just dropped it off at Dodge to get it worked on.
He goes, are you reading my mind? Facebook just gave me, he said that Facebook gave him the manifold from like BD Diesel or something like
Yeah.
that. He said, I swear to God, not 45 minutes later, Rodney was calling me, telling me my exhaust manifold gaskets are leaking.
Damn, man.
He goes, I looked all over, I don't see any. And I'm like, the whole side of the block's got soot on it. And if you look beside the EGR in the block, nothing but soot. I said, number 2 is leaking bad.
Yeah, but he come in wanting to buy a skid steer. He said he's doing cattle farming and shit now. And he was looking to buy a used one. And the salesman asked me, he said, you know him? I said, yeah. He said, do you think he'll buy one?
He's got a John Deere right now.
Yeah, we got Takeuchi's. I said, no. I said, that motherfucker's so tight, he step on a dime, he can tell you whether it's on heads or tails.
Man, I've seen him spend some money before because
Yeah.
he went out and bought some equipment, but I guess it's hit or miss. I don't know why he would need another unit though, because he's got, like you said,
They
that
don't like
John
that
Deere.
door on the John Deere.
Them doors are scary, man, because I
That's
feel
what he
like
was telling
if the
me.
machine cuts off or something,
Yeah.
and your lift is halfway down, you can't open the door. So what do you do next?
Grandpa's is like a roll-up door.
That's
it's
what.
so nice.
That's where the Takeuchi's are. They roll up. They don't flip out like this. They roll up into the cab.
Yeah.
They're pretty nice.
I guess they thought of somebody or whoever designed that had anxiety or something. I'm sure. You
I
know.
wasn't thinking at the time.
maybe
Yeah.
they were.
But even the mini excavators, it has the door. You know, you get in and out right here, but the front windshield will also raise up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that way, if something happens and you flip over on the door or something, you still can get out through the front.
I feel like you could kick the glass out on one of those pretty easy because the glass is so big. I mean,
Well-
you know, the front or the
Well,
side.
it depends on what you. If you get one in forest glass, good luck.
Oh, they see Takeuchi, they get them with bulletproof glass in them.
Yeah, good luck kicking one of those.
They ain't
out.
no kicking one of those out.
Well, I guess technology's changing because you remember back when like the 763s came out, man, everything was like paper thin. And,
Yeah,
oh man,
you
those
kick
units
it.
were junk.
Be like breaking a glass in a storm door.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Shut the door wrong, it shatters.
Yeah.
Do you have any embarrassing car stories or mistakes?
Like trying to show out for somebody and it going wrong.
Or
Let me see.
He was unprepared for
anyone
that
else?
question,
Yeah,
so I
anyone.
feel like
Okay,
while
so-
he's thinking of it,
you
Okay.
think of your story, someone else
Back in
go.
my day when
Oh,
I
he's
used to
got
He's
drink,
got it.
when I used to drink a lot, there used to be a game room open in Summertown behind the store. And that's where everybody hung out at. Well, I got drunk. I left. I woke up the next morning. I had a 67 GMC long bed truck. I woke up. My head was down under the clutch and brake pedal area. My feet was up in the cab. And I thought, I've done wrecked and I'm dead. So I wiggled around, got out from under it, and I peeped above the dash, and I'm sitting in the driveway at my parents' house where I lived at the time. I'm like, whew, okay. So I get up, I go in the house, I go back to bed, pass out, finish sobering up. Get up that evening to go back up to the game room. I go out to my truck, it wouldn't start. I'm like, what the hell? It's in the driveway, I must have drove it home, you know? I get to fooling around with it, and the plug wires are crossed on it. It's a 6-cylinder, so I moved the plug wires back around. Like, what the hell? You know, maybe Dad come out here fucking with me or something. I don't know. Started up. I go to move and I hear what in the shit? I get out and I crawl up under it and look, and there's about 2 miles worth of barbed wire wrapped around the long bed drive shaft. The drive shaft normally about that big around is about this big around. So I cut wire for 3 hours and finally get it out from under it. And I go up to the game room. And I'm talking to somebody, and they like, you don't remember what happened? Like, no, why? I just left here and went home. They said, no, you didn't go home. And my leg was hurting, my knee was hurting. And I couldn't figure out why my knee was hurting. And they said, you come walking back, you left, you come walking back up about 30 minutes later and said you wrecked your truck.
Oh no.
And said you had it turned up on the side in a fence row.
Gosh, I feel like embarrassing and drunk stories are two separate topics.
They are, but
That's a whole nother road.
that was pretty embarrassing. But as far as embarrassing where I went to show out and went wrong, I can't really think of anything right offhand.
Any time you just made a stupid mistake, you're like, I can't believe I did that.
Many times in 55 years I've done stupid stuff and think, why in the hell did I do that? But there's so many, it's hard to nail down one.
All right,
Everybody does stupid shit.
that's true.
I remember my first one. I had like an 06 Mustang. It was the first time I ever smoked a cigarette, and the guy had 125s. And I remember smoking that thing all the way down to the
Big
filter.
Cadillac.
And we were in a gravel parking lot, and the road kind of went like that. I'm like, I'm gonna drift that. I drifted the first one, and there was an embankment after the second turn. I went up on the embankment, jumped the embankment, come back on the road, and I was like, I'm going home.
Never check up, just keep going like nothing happened.
It's like,
Nobody
we ain't
saw.
stopping. Everybody that was around me called me like, what happened? I was like, I don't know. Just kept driving.
Most of my stupid stuff has been from drinking.
I got a lot of those too.
Yeah.
I got one that Dad thought I was drinking. Like I was on the way home from my buddy's house. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I hit an armadillo that was alive. Nothing happened. Like, it went under the car, nothing happened. And then, like 2 miles later down the road, I hit an armadillo that was dead, just laying in the middle of the road. I hit it, and the car just, like you straight piped it. It was like, whoa. I was like, what the fuck? And so we get under, the exhaust pipe is hanging down. Like, it bumped it and disconnected it and hanging down. And so, like, 18-year-old me was like, I was like 17. It was like, if I go fast, the car will squat like this, and the exhaust pipe won't touch the ground. And so I'm talking like 120 down Agnew Road and to go to my grandparents. And my dad comes picks me up and he was like, "You're never drinking and driving this late." And I was like, "I wasn't drinking and driving." And then the next day he put my exhaust back together. He goes, "I saw all the blood from the animal, so I guess you wasn't drinking." I was like, "I told you." He did not. He thought I ditched the car because it was dirty. I just don't wash my vehicles.
I take it back. There was an embarrassing moment when I wasn't drinking. I had a Volkswagen and took the rear shocks off of it so it would pull the front wheels. I was 15, 16. It was my hunting Volkswagen. But anyway, I took the rear shocks off of it so it would pull the front wheels. Had an automatic stick shift in it. Had a vacuum clutch on it. You still shifted the gears like a straight shift. You'd let off the gas and everything, but it had a vacuum clutch. When you pushed up so far, the vacuum would engage the clutch and you could shift with it. And you could hear it. It's like it was farting whenever you go shift gears. But a friend of mine was over and he was parked in the driveway, had a big Caprice like this, and he wanted me to show him how to pull the front wheels. Well, I matted to the floor, let off on the brake, and when I did, the accelerator stuck on it because you know how they got that roller system on it, and fucking plastered the side of his car with it. And it had a damn cube bumper on it, so it mashed the side of it in. So I spent the next 2 summers working to pay for his mom's car getting fixed. That was probably the most embarrassing non-drinking moment I've ever had in my life. I felt like shit.
Connor, what you got?
Well, I was initially going to tell one story, and then I had thought of another one that's even more embarrassing. It's not like a driving story, but it has something to do with a car, so I guess I'll tell it anyways. If it's not good enough, I'll tell the second story. So, one night, and I was like, I think I was like a senior in high school or something. I had a 95 Ford Explorer, and I didn't want to go home because, like, the things at home that were happening weren't, like, I didn't grow up in, like, the best situation. But anyways, so, like, I didn't want to go home, and I was like, well, I got my fishing pole in the back of my car, so I'm just gonna like back down to the lake and just fish for a while. So like what I would do, and this is like I've done this a few times, so it shouldn't have been like a big deal, but like I would back up partially where like the back wheels of it were in the water, and we lived in a small community with a lake. It was called Hooker Lake, and it was not named after my mom. But anyways, so I would like back the back wheels in, and I would just like fish off the back of this Ford Explorer. And then one night I'm fishing, and I guess my ass started feeling a little wet. I'm like, what the fuck is that, dude? And I realized that I guess some of the waves had came up and just like washed out under where I was parked, and I'm just floating around in this fucking lake, dude. And I'm like, I need to call someone to come and get me. And then about that time, the cops showed up down that boat launch that I was parked in, and they're like, hey, that's not a boat. You can't be out there. And I'm like, I'm not doing this on purpose, man. But it looked like I did because I'm sitting on my roof with a fucking fishing pole in my hand. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I called a buddy, and he had this big old Bronco, and he's like, you need me to pull you out? And I'm like, no, man, it's good. And then he at least tried to, and it didn't work. So then I called another buddy to pull him pulling me. And I finally got out of the lake, and then like a couple weeks later, my mom was like, did you sink your truck in the bottom of the lake? And I'm like, no, like, how did you even hear about that? That never even happened.
Not in the bottom, it floated.
Yeah,
I mean, but
the roof was still exposed, man. It took me forever to dry that thing out too, man. It didn't run. I had to like buy a new computer for it and everything, but anywho's, that was like the one non-driving embarrassing story I had. But the second one was a driving story. Same lake, but this was in the wintertime. There was a couple buddies I used to hang out with on the regular. It was the same ones that made me smoke that moldy cigarette. And
If you didn't know, his nickname is
Moldy Lungs.
moldy long.
I smoked a moldy cigarette, but that's from a previous episode, and everybody already heard about that one. But this is the same group of buddies, and they were like, man, it's Saturday and there's a bunch of women out ice fishing on the lake, so we should take that 77 Bronco you got and just start doing donuts all over the lake and stuff. And I'm like, no, okay, let's go. So then we all loaded in this thing, and we're all from up north, so like the floor is rusty. This thing is an absolute rust bucket. If I have any pictures of it, we'll throw it in the video just to show everybody. I'll have to see if I got it, but it was a rust bucket. And like the gas tank was rusted out, so we had like a boat gas tank on the passenger side of the floor. There was no floorboard, so there's like 2x4s underneath this thing and stuff. So we go out to this lake trying to show off for these ladies that probably weren't even there, man. And I'm doing donuts and shit. And sometimes the ice gets a little rough. You know, you ever been on a frozen lake before?
No.
It gets a little rough. There's like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't even know how it happens.
Like
but
the wave.
Four-wheeler driving on the frozen lake.
So you kind of understand.
Not a car.
It's not smooth, you know. There's bumpy spots. So we're doing like probably 60 miles an hour across this frozen fucking lake in a big old tank of a SUV. Because you got to think of the 77 Broncos, man. Those were some big. And it had a snowplow on the front of it too. You know, so the snowplow's dragging in the snow, and we're hitting all these bumps on the ice, and the fucking doors are falling off and shit, and the top, because the top was removable, the top went fucking flying off and shit. I lost half my car out there. You know what I'm saying? I never got it back. I was in a situationship with this one chick. This was back in high school, and it was like a summer break party we were having and stuff, and then she's like, let's go pick up so-and-so. And none of us had cars. None of us had driver's licenses. And we're all completely hammered. And so we're supposed to go pick up this person. And this chick's house that we're at, her dad was like a real estate agent, so he had money and stuff. And he was out of town doing something and left one of the cars there. So this chick was like, we need to go pick up so-and-so, and we'll just take my dad's car that he left. It was a Buick Rendezvous, like one of them SUV things. Which at the time, those were like top notch, man. You had money if you had one of those. So me being the person I am, I'm like, I'll drive. And I'm like half a bottle of Grey Goose in, and I'm drinking beers and stuff, and we're passing joints and everything else, you know. So I'm like, I'll drive.
Not the crossfading.
And we like loaded this SUV up with as many people as we possibly could, not even thinking that we're not going to have room for the person we're going to pick up. But anyways, so I'm thinking in my mind, everybody's in the car, we're ready to go. I'm going to start backing out of the garage. So that's what I did. And I guess the people that were getting in the back seats hadn't closed the doors yet. So I backed out of the garage, and it like folded the fucking doors up. I like ripped the doors off of this Buick, man. And then like we went and picked up this person, and there's no doors on it and stuff.
Okay, you win.
So like,
He wins.
God. Why is all his stories like he's like he's our main character of the show because
think
all his
so.
stories are just hilarious.
But the story you're talking about, it was a fucking nitro that the timing was off, and we had like a bottle of gas or brake cleaner or something. We were pouring it down, lit the bottle on fire. The little plastic liner or the liner that protected the hood, that was on fire. I threw the bottle was still on fire.
It spread out in the floor.
Spread out on the floor. The Dodge Nitro's on fire, and I just grabbed that shirt you gave me and started hitting it.
The shirt caught on. The story behind the shirts is him and Brady bitched so much about stuff that I gave them. That's when I was a dispatcher. So I went and had them shirts made that said I'm a salty bitch. And gave it to him.
I think I had that shirt on my toolbox for 2 days. And then I just started beating a fire out with it and burn it.
I'm bad about putting stuff on my toolbox and then it just sitting there for... We appreciate everybody tuning in to another episode of Garage Beers on After Hours Garage. Don't forget to like and subscribe, follow. Has anybody got anything they want to add before we cut it?
Deuces.
That's a good one.
He may be on for another video. You never know.
Never know.
Never know.
I'll be here.